I was invited to my close friend's wedding as her maid of honor. But after we put on the bridesmaid dresses and she saw how I looked, she asked me to step down because I would steal the spotlight from her. I'm furious and don't want to attend anymore, but my mom and stepdad said I should still be there for her. Posted by you/rightnose 8825. Throwaway because I don't want anyone in my friend group to find this. Obviously, Sophie and I, both 27, have been close friends since we were 4. We're not the speak every single day Laurel/Susanna type friends, but I genuinely considered her a sister and her parents like an aunt and uncle. Our families are close. My whole family is invited to her wedding, as is my boyfriend's family. My boyfriend is Sophie's brother's best friend. That's how close we all are. So, I wasn't really surprised when she asked me to be her maid of honor, and I think I've been a good one. Well, 2 weeks ago, Sophie, the other bridesmaids, and I went to try on bridesmaid dresses. I thought we all had a good time and that it was a successful trip as we found dresses. Apparently not, really, because a couple of days later, Sophie asked to meet me. She asked that I step down from being maid of honor. She said seeing me in the bridesmaid dress made her realize she just didn't want me stealing focus from her, and that she wouldn't feel good standing up there knowing everyone was probably comparing us. I was so hurt. I admit I cried right there in the coffee shop. Partly because I never wanted her to think that anyone would be thinking anything other than that she was the most beautiful bride on her wedding day. And partly because I was just so excited to be up there with her and she was kicking me out over something that I couldn't even control and wasn't really true. So I said fine, it's her wedding. If she didn't want me up there, I wouldn't be. But I wasn't going to come to the wedding as a guest when clearly my presence was going to be a burden to her. Sophie said that wasn't what she meant. And I asked her to explain. She said she desperately wanted me there. So, she was going to put aside her feelings, but she just wanted pictures at the altar to be with her looking the best and to have that moment with everyone looking at her up there. She also wanted me to tell everyone I dropped out because I was too busy. I said none of this felt fair and I wasn't going to lie for her. I was a good friend and did nothing wrong and she was being a brat, but that was her prerogative and I didn't have to play along. I told my boyfriend about this, who was pretty horrified and agreed that if I didn't want to go, I shouldn't, although he still is because he's friends with the groom. But my mom and stepdad think I would be the jerk if I didn't go. My mom said it's also been obvious that Sophie was insecure. I never noticed this and that she can understand where she's coming from. She said I've had the spotlight our whole lives. Again, I don't think this is true. Sophie is far more outgoing and well-liked than I have ever been, and even though it's pretty sad, maybe she does deserve to be the princess on her wedding day, and I shouldn't hate her for it. She says I'll regret missing the wedding over this. My stepdad says I should go because she's my oldest friend. And even if she is being unfair, sometimes you have to let people be irrational. I really don't know now. Sophie and I have so many mutual friends. There's not a lot of people I can ask about this without it getting back to her. So, here I am. I feel like maybe I'm being a jerk having this blow up, but I don't see why I should even stay friends with someone who would exclude me from her wedding party over something superficial. And clearly, she's been sitting on these feelings forever. Not to mention, I already paid for her whole bachelorette party and the bridesmaid dress and contributed to the cost of her wedding jewelry. And now I just feel used. So, am I being a petty jerk by refusing to go? Top/relevant comments. Downloaded commenter, your friend told you she didn't feel pretty enough to have you stand next to her on her special wedding day. I was all for saying you weren't the jerk until you mentioned your mother. It's telling that your mom has been able to see how insecure Sophie is and you haven't when she's meant to be your friend. The fact your mom has pointed out that Sophie has always been insecure and you, her best friend, haven't noticed that speaks a lot about your friendship. The fact your response is that maybe your friend deserves to feel like a princess on her wedding day kind of seals it for me. You're the jerk. Op's response, I meant princess, like maybe she deserves to have her cake and eat it. And yes, it's a maybe because I've never thought getting married means you get to treat the people you love like crap. Downloaded commenter, however, your friend is obviously insecure. I just think the fact you've never noticed how insecure your friend is, or the fact that you're always in the spotlight and that your mom has noticed this and you haven't speaks volumes about how well you treat your friend. If you were as great friends as you claim to be, this probably wouldn't come as a surprise or it would be a mood issue as you'd support your friend and she wouldn't have this insecurity with you. If you honestly can't see what she's told you, what your own mom has been able to see throughout the whole of your friendship, then it begs the question how good a friend you are to her. Edit to add, my partners just pointed out that you're right. You shouldn't go to the wedding. Only people who unconditionally love and support the bride and or groom should be at their wedding, and it doesn't sound like your love is unconditional. Op's response, the spotlight she's referring to is specifically male attention, and I guess looks-based attention generally from people we meet. And yes, I'm aware of that, but that's not what I consider to be spotlight or not the be-all and end-all anyway. Sure, I get approached more by men, but Sophie was always the one with more friends, better grades, the person teachers actually liked. She was in clubs and well known. I considered all that to even out or even swing in her favor, honestly. But yeah, it's true. I never realized that the male/looks attention thing bothered her that much. But to be fair, mothers do pick up on things about your friendships when you're younger that sometimes you don't. Sophie never let on that this one thing bugged her to this extent. Commenter 2, not the jerk, her decision shows she's not actually your friend. Friends don't actually care if you're prettier than them. And honestly, I think your boyfriend sucks for still going. He should stand by you. His friend's fiancé disrespected you. He should see they are a unit and realize you two are a unit. If one of them hurts you, it should hurt him. Anyone who tells you to swallow disrespect cares more about their peace than your well-being. Op's response, well, he said, should I also not go? And I was like, no, let's not become those people. It's not a boycott. If I didn't want him to go, he wouldn't. But if he didn't, then Sophie's brother would know why, and then it would become a whole big thing. Plus, then his sister, who is also my friend, would feel like she shouldn't go, and I just didn't want to start the domino effect, especially since I don't even know if I intend to tell anyone why I'm not going. Update 3 weeks later. So, I don't know if anyone wanted an update, but the situation has somewhat concluded now, and I thought I would provide some closure. Firstly, some digging was done by my boyfriend and myself, and we think we found the roots of the issue. A couple of months ago, my boyfriend, Sophie's brother, the groom, and Sophie were out for drinks. I remember this night. I had an event for another friend and couldn't go. Over drinks, the groom apparently asked when my boyfriend was going to propose to me, and my boyfriend said probably sometime next year. Groom then made a comment to the effect of, why would you wait that long? She's perfect. Now, according to both my boyfriend and Sophie's brother, Sophie was really mad about this because groom waited several years to propose to her. She's been bringing it up to him regularly since. Obviously, we all assume he meant perfect for you, not literally perfect, but Sophie appears to be taking it personally. The second thing is that my mother did a little gentle probing. And it turns out that at the bridesmaid fitting, Sophie's mom told Sophie that she should have chosen a dress that wasn't going to make me look better than her. I don't think she said it like that to Sophie. This is just how she related to my mom and drew attention. According to Sophie's mom, her aunt and cousin said the same thing, and I guess one of them ganged up on her about it. She also has been on Sophie about a pre-wedding diet. So, it seems like these two things got blown out of proportion and ended up in Sophie's request that I not be maid of honor. I ended up deciding not to speak to Sophie about any of this. She's planning her wedding. She should enjoy this time. I don't want to make this about me or our friendship. And if I'm being totally honest, I was kind of done with the friendship after the initial conversation. I wanted to know the reasons for my own peace of mind. But the truth is, nothing was going to change the fact that she took her feelings out on me, who only ever wanted to support her. None of these things came from me or had anything to do with me, but she chose to take a wrecking ball to a 20-year friendship rather than confront the people who upset her. I can't wrap my head around that, and I'm not going to try going forward. That being said, I decided to go to the wedding as my boyfriend's +1, essentially just for closure to this entire mess. Now that I've calmed down, I really don't feel any particular way about going. I'll eat, I'll drink, I'll clap, and Sophie will just be the wife of my boyfriend's friend from now on. I guess I haven't told anyone why I'm not maid of honor. I just said in the group chat that it was for personal reasons and everyone can speculate. Once the wedding is over, I'll tell our mutual friends the truth and they can do with that info what they will. Sophie has reached out since to talk, but I sent her a message telling her that I'll be at the wedding as a guest and that I hope she enjoys this time in her life and wishing her the best, and haven't been replying to anything else. It surprised me how quickly I've reached the numbness of just not caring anymore, but that's where I'm at. I genuinely wish her the best, but I just have zero interest in being part of her life anymore. I just can't see her or anything about our friendship the same way anymore. So, that's that. I don't really know what else to include. If anyone has anything else to ask that I've missed, feel free to ask. Thank you to everyone who commented. Top/relevant comments. Commenter, the fiancé could have realized his own mistake in delaying his proposal and is advising his friend not to do the same. Sophie may just be very emotional and stressed with the wedding. So, you've done the right thing by giving her space. I do wonder if she is also recognizing that she overreacted and now wants to make amends before the wedding. You know her best though after 2 decades of friendship. It's really hard losing a friend over silly drama though. I'm sorry. Op's response, I had also known my boyfriend for over a decade before we got together. It's not like we started from scratch and we both went into it knowing we thought we were going to get married. So, it's not the same situation at all, and I don't think it's at all relevant to Sophie's relationship. I know she is trying to salvage the friendship by reaching out, but it's like all my feelings have evaporated. I don't feel like there's anything I want to say or share with her. She's the kind of person who would take her issues out on someone over something purely superficial. I don't want to engage with that at all. Downvoted commenter 2, I don't know, ma'am. I think everyone sucks here, but you a little more. People encouraging you and saying they've dropped friends for less are also not being good friends. This is classic I'm too pretty to be considered for this. And that's really much worse than being disrespected for being ugly type of crap. I hope you live your life well, and I hope Sophie too lives better without you and hers. The fact that despite being like sisters, you never noticed a single insecurity of hers shows that Sophie isn't missing out on anything good in the long run. She has nasty family but not very understanding friends either. All in all, not the jerk for being a charitable friend by bowing out of her life since you don't seem to be cut out for anything other than massaging your own ego. Ops response, it's not that I never noticed she has insecurities. Everybody has insecurities. I just never thought her insecurities were focused on me in comparison. I don't take my feelings out on other people, and I'm not a punching bag for people to do the same to me. And mind you, all this stuff I found out about, none of that is things she ever bothered to tell me or explain to me. She never tried to let me into what she was feeling or gave me the chance to be understanding. She just presented it like, sorry, you're just not good enough anymore, as if it was my fault. Again, I just don't have anywhere to go from there. Someone who does that isn't someone I want to share my life with. That's not to do with my ego. That has to do with keeping my associations positive. I really do hope her life is better without me in it. At least then this was all worth it. I hope in the long run we both end up happy. Commenter 3, I think Op is technically in the right, but there was a more compassionate resolution, and Op needs therapy, possibly for attachment issues. I say this as someone who sees a lot of myself in Op. Most people would agonize about dropping a lifetime friendship, but she said all her feelings disappeared after that first conversation. That's not how normal people work emotionally. Op's response, I don't have attachment issues and I've had therapy in my life. I'm not agonizing about dropping the friendship because I don't linger on people who treat me badly. I'm sure I will grieve the friendship in time, but it was over the second she persecuted me for something I didn't even do. What are we supposed to talk about now? She didn't want me involved in the most important day of her life over my face. That's always going to be the undercurrent of every conversation we have. I have enough going on in my life without wondering if someone I'm supposed to trust is secretly judging, comparing, or resenting me. That's not a friend. That type of relationship is completely useless to me. I have acquaintances for that. It doesn't mean I won't miss her or that I'm some kind of emotionless droid. I just know what I deserve and I forced myself not to settle for less. Commenter 4 info, your initial post ended with you saying that you had already paid for a bunch of stuff because you were maid of honor. Did she offer to reimburse you for that? Do you think she waited to drop you from maid of honor until after you spent the money? Good for you for looking out for yourself. Op's response, she didn't offer and I didn't ask. I really don't care about the money enough to keep talking to her. I don't think she dropped me when she did because of the money. I do believe it was a coincidence and she would probably make a plan to pay me back if I bugged her about it. But I paid for those things for someone I loved at the time. I don't want to take away from her experience just because I can.